So we're talking about coffee culture. Um, I think you have a really interesting take because you are involved enough at the store that you see everything and you have the hiring process,
Mm,
but you are not in every day. You're
yeah,
not working every day. You're not
right.
talking to employees every day.
Mhm.
So you have a take I don't think most coffee shop owners have, which is you're not in the day to day, so you're not like you don't see decisions that would be affecting you.
Mhm.
Like, if we're going to change a menu, how does this affect me personally? How does this affect these customers I see every day? How does it affect my employees? It's kind of hard to tell them to do something complicated
Yeah.
directly, opposed to like top down, hey, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Um, this is what all the stores are doing. That's just what's happening,
Mhm.
opposed to this is my decision. I'm going to make you do it. So I think you have a really interesting
Yeah.
perspective that most coffee shop owners don't have.
Mhm. Um, yeah, like you kinda mentioned, I do the hiring, so I am kind of the one that is, like I don't wanna say creating the culture because that kind of happens naturally, but I am the one that's, like, adding these people,
Yeah, kind
and
of fueling the culture,
yeah,
maybe.
and I have to kind of be, like, conscious of who I'm hiring for which location because of the culture at
Yeah,
each store. So that is a tricky job. I will say that I do try really hard to it doesn't always happen, but I do try to like really be mindful.
yeah,
Um, when it comes to yeah, I was a barista like just I mean, I started 6 years ago and just 5 years. I mean, I think it was what? So like probably 3 years ago or
yeah,
so. So I don't feel so far removed from it because I was a barista. Like unlike you, it's been
yeah,
over 10 years. So I think I'm a little closer than like anyone else, but I also am kind of like a sounding board or like the listening ear for the baristas that have, you know,
yeah.
concerns or questions. Uh
Yeah, you can be the middle person. Like, if
yes.
there's a concern, I think people tell you, like, hey, this is a concern. This is what I'm seeing.
Mhm.
Because I'm there maybe once or twice a week, and I kind of just see who's,
Yeah, but sometimes you see them more than me,
yeah, that too.
because right now I have to pay attention to one particular store more than anybody
Yeah.
else, and so I don't see it's
Neither of
different.
us see everybody, I guess,
Mm-mm.
but you have more communication and you've hired everybody. Like, at one point, Gary hired everybody, then it was a transition, then I hired everybody. Now you've hired at least a majority of everyone that's employed here.
Yes, I'm so
So,
glad with that.
yeah. So, yeah, and I think you're just naturally more personable than either of us. So,
Yes, that's
um,
correct.
and obviously, like 80% of them have been women.
Yeah,
So it's like,
that's also true. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
it just kind of changes, and you just have that perspective that we haven't had before. But you also have the authority and the distance to make decisions and enforce things um, that I probably don't have.
Yes,
Like,
I do think I think this probably happens with all owners that are not there for the day to day or baristing next to whatever next to their baristas. Um, it's just so hard for you to, like, understand the struggles of, like, a change or a big change
mhm,
for the baristas and the customers, and, you won't you're not the one that's going to see the repercussions,
mhm,
um, on a customer service level.
yeah,
Obviously, you'll see the repercussions in sales and things like that, and half the time that's why you're making the changes because like, something needs to change with
uh
sales. But there's a whole other aspect to it, which is the customer service side of things, like the face to face
Yeah.
issues that will occur. Um, and I think it's hard for owners that are not involved in the day to day to see that. You know, I'm not in the stores every day, but I try to get there 4 days, and
Yeah.
so or in at least to one of them. I can't usually make it all night just because of my schedule, but I I am at least there and seeing the customer service and the customer and like employee interactions,
Hmm.
where I think when you go, that's not really what you're paying attention to. You're there to just do a quick check-in, deliver something, and then just like make, mechanical things you might be looking
Yeah.
at. But
Drop, like, fix something,
yeah,
check in. Hey, is this still working?
yeah.
Did this break? Is this still broken?
And where I'm
Yeah.
there to like I am paying attention to the customer service part.
Hmm.
I'm, making sure that the employees are doing what they need to do on a customer service level. And, a lot of times the easiest place for me to jump in and help if they're busy is the register. And so I'll see like that when if I have some a trouble like ringing something in,
Yeah.
it's like so do other people. So
Yeah.
like something needs to change.
Uh-huh.
Um, so I do think it's a little different, and it's nice for me to be able to explain that to you.
Yeah.
Um, but it's easy for you not having to do that to be like, well, no, we still have to do it this way because it's just you don't see it, and sometimes
Uh-huh.
it is better that way, and people just have to get used to it. But
Sometimes, like, that's kind of tough where it's really helpful to have multiple layers because, like, I have less emotion involved. Like, I'm just like,
yes,
no, this is how we have to do it.
yeah,
Like,
yes,
this is the trend that's happening. I'm looking at more of a broad picture.
yeah,
These are what are this is what's happening. This is where this cost is going up. This is what we need to get rid of. This is what we need to push more. And, like,
yeah.
so
That's true. Yeah, I mean, just okay. So just like for an example, um, we'll talk about smoothies.
yeah,
So we used to have an expansive smoothie
yeah,
menu, and um, we've recently decided that we are going to narrow it down to like 3 fruits because every other one is outrageously expensive.
yeah. And just the fact that there are 10 smoothies that are where there's two that take up a majority, and
Yeah,
fruit costs are the one thing that we're seeing increases that we don't have control of, like coffee, where
yeah,
like fruits just, hey, you have to buy it and it just keeps going up, it feels like. And it's just kind of, it takes up a lot of space and is used less than ever. So it's like,
yes.
um,
So we kind of made that decision like, okay,
yeah,
this is the 3 things we'll keep. Well, then there's like, well, what about raspberries? It's
yeah.
like they are triple the cost. And
But if
that's
I asked a employee, hey, what do you think about getting rid of raspberries? They'd be like, well, no, I think of this person and this person and this
yeah.
person. They all like raspberries. They're still buying it. And they just see that. Like,
Yeah, and
they'll
but
be upset if I get rid of it.
and the thing
So,
is what we're saying is that's not bad. Like
yeah.
that's the barista's job
Yeah.
is to like provide customer service and give the customer what they want.
Yeah.
So that is their first reaction. It's like, wait, no, don't you can't do that. What about Tina, like in her raspberry smoothie? And and so we get that. And I think that that shouldn't just be like thrown to the wayside. You have to take that into consideration. But ultimately, you have to make the right decision for the company and like financially,
Yeah.
um especially right now with all the prices increasing. But I don't think that it's a bad thing to relay that to your baristas.
Yeah.
So like a lot of times people are like, well, no, just because like we're not going to do that, and you just don't want to explain it
Yeah.
to the your employees or like the lower level or whatever. But you
Hmm.
can't. I think that it's important to keep them in the loop, and because then it gives them a better understanding.
Yeah.
And then however they want to explain to the customers,
Uh-huh.
whatever, I don't think it really matters if they're like, "Oh yeah, sorry, like our economy is crazy." Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't care if they were like raspberries are 4 times the price as bananas. So, like, I don't think I'm just saying I think it's okay to keep the baristas in the loop and, like, let them know,
Hmm.
because they feel respected, they feel like they're heard, and they are. Like, we do hear them. I think it's just that's important to have a team that you're okay with telling, like, "No, and this is why." Like,
Yeah.
you don't need to keep them in the dark.
So if a barista is frustrated with ownership,
Mm.
what do you think that usually boils down to, or where does that usually come from?
Uh, Lack of communication
Yep.
and just that's it, because communication so many things. It's
Hmm.
communication is hearing the barista
Hmm.
and, um, them hearing you. So, like, if you're not explaining to them what you need to be explaining, what like, for them to understand, like, why this has not happened yet,
Hmm.
like, why d does the sanitizer not why is it not hot enough? Like, you it's okay to explain, "This is why." You
Hmm.
know, we there's a it's a I have a work order out, they're backed up, whatever, or like we're trying to get these 5 things done before we go to that, so we'll get to that. I think it's okay, it's communication all
Yeah.
around, because also it's like, are we the people like, the owner whatever, the owners, listening to the baristas? Are we
Hmm.
listening to them? It's like, and then are we communicating to them why it's not done yet? Like, it's just
Yeah.
communication all around, I think.
Yeah. Definitely. Like we.
Do you think we should do better
Yeah.
at that, or that we could do better
I
at
think
that?
everyone can always do better. You can never communicate too much.
Yep.
Um, yeah, it always comes down to, or it comes down to, yeah, explanations. I think there's always something in my head of why this is why we're doing it this way or
And it
this way
makes
we
sense
don't.
to you.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But then,
And
like,
I've explained it. I can feel like, well, I've explained that 5 times, but that was to 5 different people or in different contexts.
mhm,
So there's always more. Yeah.
more that can be done,
Yeah.
more that can be said.
Um, okay, so what do you think owners do that they think is motivating but lands poorly to the staff? So something that seems like a good idea to an owner, but it doesn't land. Can you think of anything? Even specifically for us or just in general?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some things like,
I can think of one thing we did once was we did name tags, like the chalk name tags, I think because a lot of the chains were doing that.
mhm,
But our I think one of our managers said, like, "I know everybody and they all know me. Like, I'm not gonna wear," like,
yeah,
from his perspective,
yeah,
everyone knew him. It's a neighborhood shop. He's known these people for a decade
yeah,
plus. So put a name tag on just feels like distancing yourself.
yeah, absolutely, especially for because we're not a chain,
Yeah.
not a chain.
Yeah.
So I definitely think, yeah, I can see that. I wasn't really thinking about that, I guess, but I totally agree with that. I think, okay, this is another one. It's still enforced, so I shouldn't. But the having to wear, Friedrich's merch. Now
Uh-huh.
we give the free T-shirt, and then we require them to have to wear Friedrich's merch, um,
Yeah.
when working, and we provide aprons. Um, I think I don't know if that's just like just what places that you work for, like
Yeah.
customer service, just do. It's just kind of hard, uh, for me, because I've worked at a lot of face-to-face customer service jobs, and I didn't have to do
Do
that.
that. Yeah.
And so, I have, 25 pieces of Friedrich's merch,
Yeah.
as do you, but it's just not like I will say I'm not like the first one to enforce that. I will say it.
Hmm.
I will tell them, "Hey guys,
Yeah.
don't forget."
I
But,
think so. We have had rules in place that are more back pocket rules, kind of
yeah,
like you see someone wearing sweatpants and you're like, hey, or I guess sweatpants is a bad example, but like just some like kind of old t-shirt
yeah,
looking raggedy, like, hey, this is like, instead of saying you look rough, you could say, hey, you need to wear an apron.
yeah,
And that's
and that's it's like an easy fix.
yeah, it's an easy
To just be
fix.
like, "You have to wear Friedrich's merch, and if you don't, then
Yeah,
just wear an apron," because it covers up and I get that. I think it's just,
yeah,
this day and age, people are, like, expressing themselves a lot more with clothing,
yeah,
and that can get tricky. So,
yeah. So I do, yeah,
you would uh, and that's another thing, if some of your staff doesn't just have I don't know, like, doesn't have the common sense to, "Oh, not wear that graphic T-shirt because it has something on it
yeah,
that, like, not everyone would
yeah.
appreciate seeing when going into a coffee shop," then you shouldn't wear it. It's like the apron's just an easy fix. I guess what I mean is
Oh
like
yeah, I
how
know.
I'm dressed right now, I feel like I could go in and not be, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or like
you don't need, yeah, like if you came dressed like that, you wouldn't need to be like wear an apron over that,
right.
or like,
Right.
hey, you need to wear this black t-shirt over that because it has
Yeah.
our logo.
So I think that that's my like I think
Yeah.
our baristas are like, why? Like, why are we doing this? Or like, we're not Starbucks. We don't need to wear aprons. Like,
Uh,
why is that? Um, But I know it's important, and, like, we have a closed-toed shoe policy, obviously, that's safety purposes, like, I totally like, those things I obviously get, but,
mhm.
yeah, I think that one, is a little
Yeah,
yeah.
doesn't land quite the same. And it's probably different now because, yeah, like you said, people express themselves more.
Mhm.
And I think in general, people are starting to, there's a bigger gap.
Mhm.
Like there's people that
Well, I don't know.
just don't dress well, and then there's people like, there's a bigger gap. I think,
Yeah.
I don't
No,
know what
I
I'm trying to
understand what
say,
you're saying.
but
I understand what you're saying,
yeah.
like yeah, I
People dress more professionally when they're out in public now. Like people kind of like dress up just to go to Target is like a
mm,
thing, or like,
I don't know, I would almost say
um,
the opposite, like, I think there's a huge I don't know, but I'll say this, I have, our assistant manager at one of our stores, she generally is like dressed very like cute and
mhm,
um like just has
yeah,
great stuff. And I said to her, you don't can you put an apron on or a sticker or something? Like we have stickers and so it's like
yeah,
put something on. And she's like, "Well, no, because this starts a conversation. Like my outfit, like it's a cute shirt and it starts a conversation with the customer. They ask me where I got it, and then we talk and then we build a rapport. And like she's like,
yeah,
my clothing will do that because she's like dressed cute. And so it's like, that's true. I don't know. It's really hard. And then she's like, and then I make a personal connection with a customer. And then like
yeah,
and so I just think that I don't know. That's my
yeah,
hot
yeah. It's part of the culture.
yeah.
I think that changes. Maybe at our shop, definitely, it's definitely changed.
Yeah, I don't know about the other 2, but I have one of our stores in particular that I'm thinking about that they just
Yeah.
don't love it. But also, I will say this. Okay, I'll wait.
No, you're good.
I will say that the the shop that I'm talking about, I don't feel this is gonna give it away, but I don't feel the need that they have to wear Freaks Loco because they all have headsets.
Yeah,
Who
yeah,
like it's like if we
yeah. It's
use
not like that differentiates you. You have a
Y
headset
yeah,
on.
so if we're using it to differentiate you and make you like, "Oh, that's an employee, that's who I need to talk to,"
Uh-huh.
they have a headset on, so you like, "No." But I
Yeah,
understand the other part, like, with the clothing
yeah.
type and stuff like that.
Um. Okay, so um, if there's just an owner, maybe more like in my shoes, where you aren't seeing employees every day, but there's no middle person. There's just
Yeah, there's no
a
me.
yeah. There's no there's someone
Or I don't even
managing or
yeah.
owning. and it's just them and then employees,
Mm.
and they don't see everyone every day or every week even. Or what is one thing they could do to better just build a better culture, I guess.
Okay, make sure that you see them.
Yeah,
I don't know what I, like, literally don't know what else to say.
yeah,
You can't do that. I mean, if you're an owner of a coffee shop and you don't have a middle person and you're not seeing your staff,
yeah,
like, at least 2 or 3 times a week, then find a middle person or see your staff 2 or 3 times a week. Like, there's no other answer. I
yeah,
truly don't feel like there's another answer to that.
yeah. You
Do
definitely
you do
feel
you?
that. No, I mean, I
Okay.
did. I worked when I started working, I was in high school and I worked just the 5 to 9, and I never saw anybody like
Well,
I never saw anyone, any management or like my parents' owner from that perspective. I didn't see the managers because they opened. So even in the transition, I didn't see. So
I don't think I'm not saying that you have to see every employee
yeah,
every week.
I
I'm
know.
just saying you need to, like, I don't think there's ever a situation
Have,
where there's not a middleman. I just don't. And
yeah,
there's no situation where it can be successful that there's no middleman and you are not seeing
someone has to be communicating.
your staff 2 to 3 times a week. There's just not that's not realistic because if there's no middleman, then you as the owner have to be the manager of the shop
Hmm.
and then you're seeing them. Like, there's
Yeah,
just no way. If
and it
if
is,
that is happening, that is just not realistic or sustainable.
so like you don't have to overthink it. Like you have to go like just like if you're managing a coffee shop
Mhm.
or you own a single coffee shop, just stopping in and just checking in for 2 minutes.
Y
Like that's it. Just with that makes people feel like there's
Yeah, not 2 I would say a little more
some,
than that, but yeah, 2
or
minutes.
yeah, even if that's it, like you're just,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, like if there's a, I don't know.
I just think that I mean, it's just like I said, it's not sustainable or find a middle person.
Yeah,
You have to if you don't have someone there that you can trust to be your middleman, then you can't be away from the business that much.
yeah.
Like, I don't there's just
There's just
it's
not a way around that. There's no
no.
like communication app like Slack or whatever that's going to make up for you not being there.
No.
And there's no automation or no,
Like,
yeah,
let's say you had let's say that you open a shop somewhere and then you move out of state
yeah,
and to whatever, and your shop's still there. Fine, but you have to have a middleman. You have
or
to
a
have a
manager or
you have to
some,
have a manager, someone that you trust with that store, and then maybe you do, like, you send video yeah, like, whatever, you have an app that you can, like,
yeah,
send videos, "Hey, guys, checking in, like, please let me know what concerns you have," and that's for all of them and not just the manager, like, that's for all the baristas, but
yeah,
maybe that would work, maybe, but that's still giving you a middleman that you have to help you. Like, there's
yeah.
just no way.
That'd
Like,
be tough.
I know,
Like
but
now more than ever, I feel like just the, yeah, being distant from,
yeah.
you'd have to have a lot of trust and faith in whoever is that
Mhm. Yeah.
connector person, manager probably, but
Mhm. Yeah, and we're talking about, like, brick and mortar stores. We're
yeah,
talking about coffee shops because, like, it would be different right now, like, if you left
yeah,
and out of state and there was somebody else to take care of the stores and you just didn't do that part of the
mhm,
business. Like, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about, like, you owning a coffee shop and having a staff that you
mhm,
hired and then not being there. Like, that's not
yeah. What can you name one thing in the last 3 years that has gotten significantly better since you've stepped into this role?
turnover,
Turnover, yeah.
I feel like.
Healthy turnover, I would say for sure, because you still have
Oh,
it. There's
totally.
healthy turnover. I don't know the percent, but like in an office or a big corporation, like under 5% is like good. But like I would say that would be bad for a coffee shop in many
Yeah,
situations.
you have to have a pretty I mean, you don't want it to be too high, but you don't want it
Yeah,
a healthy turnover is like yeah, it's
yeah,
I don't know what it is, but we could look it up.
yeah.
Um, so I think turnover has changed
That's probably the
drastically.
best. spot. I can't say like it'd be better if it's more or less. I think it's just in a really good place
Mhm.
right now,
Yeah.
better than it has ever been.
Yeah. I agree with that. Um, so I would say that. That's
Yeah.
my that's my
Yeah, I would say almost just competency
that
of just our overall store staff.
that's because I hired them.
Yes.
Okay.
But like people that kind of our employees will they will like try and test things or figure it out first.
Sure.
They don't just
Yeah.
say, "Hey, this isn't working,"
Yeah.
or "This broke." Um,
Yeah. And we did kind of make that
and
we kind of like made that rule a year ago. It's like try it, just use your common sense and do what you can,
yeah,
and then if it's still not working, because sometimes it's like so easy, it's just you unplug it, like
yeah, or
literally.
like our POS Revel, just close it out and open it again,
Yeah,
and
and sometimes
just
it's that
try.
easy. A lot of times it's not, but sometimes it is. And so if they do stuff like that, you don't even have to tell anybody
Yeah,
else. You can just do it. You can just fix it. And so, yeah, I think that a lot of our staff do that
yeah.
now. And like, I mean,
hmm
that yeah.
And I don't know if we train this, but everyone can set the grinder. I feel like espresso grinders. That used to be a bigger, pretty not big issue, but like
Like dialing it in.
yeah, dialing
Yeah.
it in. Like I would just show up and they'd have like either like which is bad, they just serve like a 12-second shot, or they're like just frantically doing it in a rush, and
Mhm.
then they see me come in and then they like, hey, fix this. But like I haven't had the issue in over a year. Not one
Yeah.
time have I had to come in and
Yeah, but that's because Abby, like,
yeah,
did it
yeah,
at her store, and then she taught them each other. That's another thing, is when you have, like, a really competent person that genuinely cares and does know what quality is,
yeah,
you can use that like, I don't if you have multiple stores like we do, use that person to, like, utilize them to teach everybody.
yeah. I think that's also another thing. Training. We used to think training at our roastery office was like the goal. But like you can't transfer that.
No.
It's just it's like reading a textbook versus a learned experience like
Yeah.
in whatever that field is. Like
Yeah.
yeah, you know what an espresso machine looks like and
Yeah.
how to but when you can't really transplant it very well into like the actual you kind of have to relearn most of the
Especially when it's like a customer service face to face.
yeah,
Like you don't have any of that at the roastery. So when
yeah,
you got to be in that space to like really understand because it's just you have a customer standing in front of you. Like
yeah,
that will never
yeah,
that can never be taught unless you're doing it.
yeah.
Like watching you make the drink.
So that's a really good spot we are with training right now
Yeah.
where Abby has the
She does
first
I mean,
touch, at least the first touch, if
yeah.
not the full training.
Yeah.
At least 50%, I feel like.
I would say the only I've recently hired one person that Abby didn't train at all, but I only did that. That only happened because she just was like a complete
Just knew everything.
competent barista, like, knew probably more than I did, like, she
Yeah,
was not there was, like, nothing that I needed
yeah.
where she worked had, like, the same espresso machine like, it was just
And you
very
knew that the people working with her were going to
yes,
like, hey, help, like,
yes, they were very the people that she was going in with were competent as well,
and they
but
could, yeah, transfer skill. Like, they all probably had a little espresso experience as well, so they could
yeah.
help, like, just,
Yeah, I would net but almost everyone else, like,
yeah.
she was our first person that they trained with because it was just necessary and we knew that, like, that's just
hmm
how we were able to build this team between me hiring them and her training them. That's why we're at this point, you know.
Yeah. Is
Shout
there
out
any
Tabby.
shout out Abby?
I
Is there anything else?
don't think so.
I think that was good.
Yeah, we got a good
Yeah.
cover. If we think of anything else, we'll just do another podcast on.
Yeah.
You guys can listen to it.
Thank
All right.
you.